Another creator, her name is Ash All About Money. She tagged me in a video because what she does is she tries to help people budget their way out of their financial problems. Sometimes budgeting doesn't work, and she actually tagged me and wanted me to kind of break down what she was seeing to see what it would look like in a bankruptcy setting. What we've got up here is income of $5,346. I'm going to assume that this is income after taxes, obviously, and after all deductions. I'm also going to assume that health insurance payments are taken from the paycheck since we don't have a line item expense in there, and that's usually the case. So if we have income of $5,346, these right here are this couple's stated expenses. This is a family of 5 with 3 children. This family of 5 has identified $4,595 in expenses. That leaves $751 between the two. When Ash tagged me, I told her what I really needed was these over here, these balances, because what you pay on them didn't really matter to me so much as what they really are. And then what I did was I took out the Zales and the Ashley. We'll talk about those later. Took those two out. And I took these balances. I assumed this is 1,000. I assumed this was 1,000. I assumed this was 500. I assumed this was 500. And everything except for Zales and Ashley is simply debt. It's not 1914, not 466. Those are not the numbers that matter to me. This is the number that matters to me. 29,941. That's the total unsecured debt. And that's credit cards. They don't even have any medical bills in here. Personal loans, that's this stuff. Unsecured debt. This is what goes away in a bankruptcy. As a bankruptcy lawyer, the bigger issue I have are the expenses. While we have some stated expenses here, there are some missing that this family has not contemplated. We don't have any line item in here for home maintenance. This is a big one. You own a nice home, you're paying $2,200 a month, probably includes taxes and insurance, but if you're not setting aside money to take care of the home, setting yourself up for not being able to handle an emergency expense. We also don't have anything in here for telephone. This is a household of 5. A cell phone or a home phone is pretty necessary in today's world. We don't have any contemplation of that. There's nothing there for housekeeping supplies. There's nothing here for personal care products. Your tampons, that's your makeup remover, that's your earwax cleaning solutions, that type of stuff. We all need stuff like that, right? And we don't have anything in here for clothing. We've got children who are growing. We've got nothing in here for clothing. We don't have anything in here for medical and dental or vision, and that's a big issue. Right here, we're not even contemplating that you might have a medical problem. And I'm assuming, of course, that your health insurance is coming out of your paycheck, but there's nothing here to accommodate if something were to happen. Obviously, there's nothing here for charitable contributions. If you wanted to be charitable in any way, you don't have the ability to do so here. We also don't have anything in here for vehicle maintenance. Got to rotate the tires, we've got to change the oil. So in the stated expenses, even though it's $45.95 with $751 left over, the reality is that we're missing a lot of expenses. And not only are we missing some important expenses, but this one right here, this is not realistic. $250 for a household of 5 for groceries for the entire month, and you're not including housekeeping supplies, personal care products, or anything else. That is not a reasonable number. I've been practicing bankruptcy law for 28 years. And when you underestimate your expenses, or you forget or don't realize you have extra expenses, those things are going on credit cards. And that's really what the problem is. From my standpoint, of course, these people should be filing a bankruptcy, and they're going to have to tighten their belts because they need to start figuring out how to take care of their month-to-month expenses, because they can't even maintain those very well if they're being more honest. I want to point out, though, to you is that as we're talking about these expenses, one of the things that's also pretty notable is the $824 for the car. One of the advantages of bankruptcy
is that if you have something that is too expensive, that you really can't afford, you can surrender it. I don't know anything about the equity in their home. I don't know anything about the equity in their cars, so I wouldn't be able to advise them as to what to do, and they're not in the state of Ohio anyway. But what I can say is that if they were an Ohio client, they would qualify to file a Chapter 7. I would need to double check the equity to make sure they wouldn't be losing anything if they filed. And I'd probably suggest that they surrender that very high priced car so that they can get into a lower priced car, so they can have the excess income that they need to take care of the dental, the medical, to take care of the cell phones, the clothing, the personal care products, those types of things, and to set up a fund to take care of their home, and to set up a fund to make sure that they have an emergency fund to deal with their vehicle problems. So I don't see budgeting as a way out for these people unless there's more income coming in, and by that I mean significantly more.